Hi, my name is Megan, and this is Everything Lit. And today, I'm bringing you my February TBR. It's already been a month. Wow. Everyone says that every year, but it feels it, you know? I feel it. Today's TBR is going to be pretty long. Hopefully I can get through all of them. I've got book plans, I've got a readathon, so let's just go. I am going to be participating in the Cliterature Readathon, which I will link the announcement video down below. And they do have a bingo board, which is very cute. I'll talk more about what I'm going to use to fill that bingo board, but I'm going to put it on your radar right now. I am going to do a poll pick later this month when we get closer to the readathon for a book by a new to me author. So I'm combining two prompts, and so you'll get to pick my introduction book to an author. And ooh, you know what I just realized? I might be able to use Bride by Ali Hazelwood for this. So if you pick it, that'll be my first Ali Hazelwood. Let's just go. Let's just get into it. I have my mug of prompts and I've been picking 4. I think this month I might pick 3 because I do like getting to these prompts, but I have so much going on that I want to read. I'm filming 2 vlogs this month, maybe a 3rd. And so I don't want to have too many books like on the back burner. Whatever. It's my game. I can do whatever I want. You don't care. Let's pick a prompt. And the prompts that I picked last month are staying out of the mug, just so I don't get the same prompt twice back to back. So I'm picking this orange one. What is it? Book bought in 2022. Ooh, I'm gonna have to go to my Goodreads for this. This is actually perfect because I'm filming a video with this book, but I bought For Your Own Good by Samantha Downing in 2022. So this is the book I'll be reading for this prompt. Let's pick another. Let's do a blue one. I want this one. Oh, should I pick this orange one because it fell out with it? No. Putting the orange one back. Oh, hi Vino. Vino's here as always. My boy. He's like, stop it, Mom. You're embarrassing me. This says fantasy. Okay. You know what's crazy is I just read Mistborn, which would have been good for this. Oh, you know what? Okay. So I'm gonna try to read Emily Wilde's Map of the Otherlands by Heather Fawcett for fantasy because it should be coming in from my library this month. I hope. I've been waiting. I have the ebook on hold, and I have since my library got it. I have the physical book on hold, but it's not in yet. So I'm gonna try for this fantasy prompt. All right, one more. I'm just gonna close my eyes and pick one. It's blue. Let's see. Goodreads or YouTube recommendation. Interesting. I don't really know what I had in mind when I picked this. I guess like picking a book off of a YouTuber video or Goodreads. I know what I'm gonna pick. So I'm gonna pick My Dark Vanessa by Kate Elizabeth Russell as my YouTube / Goodreads rec because my friend Selena at Vampires Read read this and recommended it to YouTube. So I'm one of those people. I'm gonna use this as my recommendation. I guess I could use like a lighter book for that. I also have The Do-Over here, but this is on my 5-star predictions. I'll do one of these, okay? So those are my 3 prompts. Those are the books I'm gonna read. Let's first talk about the new books that I would like to read in February. First is The Warm Hands of Ghosts, or In the Warm Hands of Ghosts by Catherine Arden. Very excited about this. It is a historical fiction fantasy, In World War I, our main character is a nurse and she gets a letter that her brother has died on the front. Something doesn't feel right. She doesn't feel like he's actually dead. And I think she goes to the front to figure out what happened. I would like to read Bride by Ali Hazelwood. This is a tentative thing, but it's a vampire werewolf marriage. Early reviews are really good. Everyone loves Ali Hazelwood and I have not read one yet. This might be my gateway to the Ali Hazelwood train. I would also like to read An Education in Malice by S.T. Gibson. This is a fantasy with vampires, I think, and it's in a girls' boarding school. It's kind of a retelling of Carmilla, and these two girls are like academic rivals, but also they're falling in love. I don't know. I just trust S.T. Gibson even after one book. So I think those are all the new releases that I want to read. Let's talk library books because I have a lot of them. I'm doing really good this year on not buying books and I'm just putting them on hold at the library. Will I get to all these? Who knows? But all of them are due back early February. So let's talk about it. I would like to read Say You'll Be Mine by Naina Kumar. This is a romance and it is about a woman whose best friend is a guy and she's been in love with him forever and now he's getting married. And so she's gonna get fake engaged to another man and he's kind of grumpy and they obviously fall in love, right? But she's also like the best man of her friend's wedding. So it's giving like My Best Friend's Wedding vibes, but with an actual romance subplot with another person. I would like to read Red String Theory by Lauren Kung Jessen, and this is about a woman who believes in the red string of fate. It is a Chinese legend that your one true love is connected to you by a red string. She meets this guy who makes her believe that he's her soulmate, but he doesn't believe in this stuff, and then they like think they're losing each other forever, like they're never gonna see each other again, and then they like magically meet up. I think it could be really good. I think it could also not be good. I've never read from this author before, but I do have her first book. And this is a romance, if I didn't say. I have The Husky and His White Cat Shizen by Ro Bao Buchi Ro. This is a Chinese translation of a male romance. It's about this emperor dictator who kills himself and then finds himself like reborn and has a chance to do everything over again. And he finds himself falling in love with his guard, maybe? I don't know. It looks good, okay? I have Game On by Ceresia Glass. I did not know she was coming out with another book, but this involves a female gamer who has a large following under an anonymous name. She plays this video game that's really popular and posts a video about how sexist it is and how it is, just criticizing the game, I'll say. And then the CEO of the company that made the game, instead of taking this personally, offers her a job. And he's like, you know what? If you think it's terrible, come work for us, come consult with us, tell us how to make it better. And so they start out as adversaries, but then they work together and it's a romance, so they fall in love. I did get This Coven Won't Break by Isabel Sterling out from the library, so I want to continue that duology. So this is the second and final book. The first one is These Witches Don't Burn, and I really don't know what's going to happen in this, but in the first book, we have our main character who is an elemental witch, and she starts finding out there are blood witches, and they can, kind of control your blood, make you do bad things. She thinks there is a blood witch after her, but actually there might be witch hunters back in Salem, Massachusetts. It's really good, and I can't wait to finish out the duology. And then I got a book of poems. This is Duende by Tracy K. Smith. I am still on the hunt for my poetry vibe, my poetry aesthetic, and I feel like I've read a different Tracy K. Smith collection, and I didn't love it. But I feel like one of my professors at university loved Duende. She loved the word, she loved the concept. Maybe she was inspired by this poetry collection. So I'm gonna give it a try. And I'm sure I will get more library books in the next month, but those are the ones I have currently and need to be read. So let's talk about books I'm gonna read for videos. It is time for my reread of Station 11 by Emily St. John Mandel. I'm gonna be vlogging this because it'll be, I think, the 4th or 5th time I've read it, and it just makes me cry Tears of Happiness, and I can't wait to talk to you about it. This is a speculative fiction literary thing about a pandemic that wipes out, you know, half the population or more. And then 20 years later, we're following a troupe of traveling actors and a symphony band as they travel throughout what used to be Michigan and put on Shakespeare plays for the people remaining after this world-ending event. It's phenomenal. Ooh, I forgot another new release, but I think I'm also reading it for a video, and that is Just Say Yes by Goldie Moldavsky. This involves, I think this is a YA romance, and this involves a 17-year-old girl who didn't know she was undocumented, and now she's trying to get married as she turns 18 to stay in the country, the only home she's ever known. And it doesn't really matter who is her husband, she's just trying to get married. I love Goldie Moldavsky, and I'm sure this is going to have a really good message. I also need to read The Mary Shelley Club by Goldie Moldavsky. So this is about a new girl at a prep school who is the subject of a prank and becomes like public enemy #1 overnight is what it says. But then she draws the attention of the Mary Shelley Club, a mysterious society known for pranking people and doing fear tests. And she kind of gets involved in their cahoots. And then I am reading Husband Material by Alexis Hall. This is the sequel to Boyfriend Material, which I think I gave 2 or 3 stars. It was kind of a yikes. And so I'm not going to reveal what video I am filming or what video I'm reading this for, but I will say For Your Own Good was one of the other ones. And I have one other book that I'm going to read for the Literature readathon that is also in this video. So if you want to try and guess what it is, these are the 3 books, 2 romances and a thriller. The first book was about a rock star's disgraced son, and he has to get like a fake date to this charity event put on by his work. The setup was just really messy, but basically this like stuffed shirt upright young man and this louse fall in love, and it was kind of cringe. So, you know, obviously I have to read the sequel. And basically in this one, apparently like all their friends are getting married and they start to feel the pressure to get married. And I don't have high hopes for it, honestly, which is, you're like, Megan, why are you reading it? Because I gotta know. And then let's talk about the Literature readathon. So this is taking place from February 19th to February 25th, and I am gonna try to read 3 books in that week. So the first one is I'm So Not Over You by Kosoko Jackson. This is a romance, and this is the author of, was it my worst book of the year last year? I think it was. Yesterday is History. I bought this before I even knew Yesterday is History existed. It was getting good reviews. This is about 2 men. They are ex-boyfriends, and one day Hudson wants Kian to pretend to be his boyfriend again while his parents are in town. So it's like second chance romance, which I don't love. It's fake dating, which I do love, but it seems a little sketchy that this character wants his family to believe they're still dating and they're not. You know, I don't love that. But this does have an illustrated cover, and it's an LGBTQIA romance, and this is a POC author. So I'm going to use it for 3 prompts. I hope it's good. I hope, because it's like there's less plot mechanics, that it'll be good. And then I would also like to read Raiders of the Lost Heart by Joe Segura. This involves an archaeologist on a dig in Mexico. Her like nemesis in academia shows up to help with the dig, and it's giving The Mummy vibes, right? They don't really get along. They're both fighting for prestige, and also there's adventure, and we're in the jungle, and yes. So this is gonna work for 2 prompts. This is a 5-star prediction, and I'm gonna say it's a favorite trope because it is enemies to lovers, or like academic rivals to lovers. I guess this could work as a new to me author as well, but I think my poll picks that I'm gonna put up are all gonna be new to me authors, so that'll be the other book. And just by making this video and sharing my TBR, I'm already knocking off 1 prompt. Nice. That's the TBR. I should just stop there and be like, yep, those are the books I'm gonna read. But I'm gonna rapid fire a couple books and not really talk about them. Because as much as I like planning, I'm also kind of a mood reader. I like to switch between genres. I like to go with what I'm feeling. So, a couple other books. Vicious Spirits by Kat Cho. I need to finally read this. I wanted it to be my bought in 2022 book, but I bought it before that. I think this is from 2019. Which means I read the first one. This is from 2020. I feel a little bit better, but not by much, because I think I read the first one in 2020 and now it's 2024. What am I doing? I'm interested in reading Dark Rise by C.S. Pacat. I love C.S. Pacat. The second book has already come out. The third one is coming out eventually, and I need to get started on this series. If I don't read Bride, I would still like to read an Allie Hazelwood, some Thinking Love on the Brain. I'm in the mood for some historical fiction. The Tobacco Wives by Adele Myers seems to be calling my name. I pulled it off my shelf and was like, I think that's a book I'm interested in. I would like to read Crown of Midnight by Sarah J. Maas. I need to get to this just to decide if this series is for me or not, you know? And typically in February, I tend to read a really big book. So the last 2 years, I've read like an 800-page book in the month of February. So I would like to get to The Amazing Adventures of Cavalier and Clay by Michael Chabon. This is only like 600 pages, but it's still a pretty big book, and I would like to get to it. And finally, I would like to get to Assistant to the Villain by Hannah Nicole Mayer. This is enemies to lovers romance. Not even enemies to lovers. This is like a workplace romance, except the girl works for a villain. So those are all the books that I would like to read in February. Definitely not gonna happen, but they're on my radar. They're on my list. Let me know what you're gonna read. Let me know if you're gonna participate in the Cliterature Readathon. And if you like this video, you could click that like button. You could subscribe, but really, you can do whatever you want. And I'll see you next time.